Yo Bar, what's up and what's happening, and welcome back to It's the Yo Bar series with me, Chris Harding. So, as of today, recording this video, it's the 1st of February. But what if I were to tell you that there are 3 easy steps to make your 2025 good for your mind and your body and how you can set and achieve your goals? But first of all, I want to give you a little bit of a client story. So the reason that I wanted to tell you this story is that a few months ago, I made a video on the weight loss drug, which is called Mounjaro. And I had someone reach out to me on the back of that video via my email and say that I'd like to have a little bit more information around Mounjaro. I'm thinking of taking it. Now, this person didn't actually qualify under the NHS to be able to get the drug. So she was thinking about taking it privately through a private prescription, which is obviously going to cost quite a lot of money. So she wanted to know the pros and cons of Mounjaro, what's good and what's bad. So it's only 1 hour consultation. And so I've only got a limited amount of time to get to know the person. I've never met this person before. And I wanted to know what her habits were, what her lifestyle's like, her relationship with alcohol, her relationship with food, and obviously her activity. So let's just take alcohol, for example. So when I addressed the question, how much alcohol do you intake? She said, well, actually having 2 to 3 glasses of red wine every single night. So she said probably between 5 and 6 days a week I'm doing that, and there's maybe one day where I'm not. Okay, all right. So initially, without even addressing the drug Mounjaro, what we're actually looking at is someone who's having excessive amounts of alcohol, which has got ethanol in it, and ethanol is toxic to the liver. So the liver has to be able to metabolize that ethanol inside the alcohol. So that's going to make the individual feel run down. It's going to make them feel absolutely shit and lagging in energy, or want to be able to, succeed in their lifestyle choices and making changes for the positive. So I said to her, where do you think you can go with this? Do you think you can reduce the amount of days that you drink? She said, absolutely, but I've just sort of lost my way. Okay, let's address diet. So what type of foods do you choose to eat? Well, I really hate cooking. I love whole food, and I love food being cooked for me. But most of the time I turn to ready meals and takeaways just because it's much, much easier. Okay, all right. So you're now looking at consuming food that isn't actually, very nutritious. And you're also consuming a high amount of alcohol. And as the discussion went on, I could see that this individual felt actually quite run down and quite depressed and quite low, in my opinion. And so I addressed that with her and I said, well, how do you really feel about this? And she said, to be completely honest with you, I feel just completely frustrated by the whole thing. I've dieted all my life. I've yo-yo dieted. I've gone up and I've gone down, and I've never been completely happy. And I feel I'm at my worst point now. And that's why I'm thinking about taking the drug Mounjaro, because I've had people who've taken it and it's worked. They've lost weight. Yeah. It's designed to do that. It's designed to help an individual who's struggling with their weight to lose weight. But you're not that individual. You're actually someone who actually needs to address some of the things that you're doing right now in order to be able to begin that cycle to lose weight. So whenever someone's got too much weight, one of the most initial things that you should think about if you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to improve your health, or you're trying to maybe control your type 2 diabetes, is that the first thing is that you've got a hormone imbalance. So you need to be able to rebalance your hormones through your nutrition. Now, drinking too much alcohol and having too much junk food isn't going to balance those hormones. And so therefore your body's going to continue to store weight. Plus up here in the mind, you're going to feel run down, low, depressed, unmotivated to do more for yourself in a positive way. So just by addressing those 2 things, I'd actually convinced her that she didn't need to take the drug Mounjaro. And I said to her that it's going to be really expensive. We actually figured out that taking the drug Mounjaro for a year was going to cost her £5,500, which is a huge amount of money, when actually all you need to do is just improve some things and tone down others. And then we looked at her activity, and actually her activity was pretty good. She was someone who was relatively quite active, but she wasn't losing that weight, which goes back to that whole theory of the more activity you do, the more weight you'll lose, which is completely untrue. It's mainly, you can't out-train a shit diet, I'm afraid. You have to stick to a regime where Your vices, such as alcohol and junk food, you keep to a minimum, and everything else is on the positive side of having more whole food, whole dietary fats, more fiber, decent amounts of protein, and also, looking at including or thinking about doing some form of fasting where you're giving your body and your system a chance to digest its food, but also to be able to start burning up that body fat that you're looking to try and drop. So on the back of that, what are the 3 key principles that I would actually recommend to someone? Well, the first key principle is address your alcohol intake. If you're intaking too much alcohol, even if you train really hard and you go to the gym or you go outdoors or you do sports and activity and recreation, if you drink too much alcohol and you know you're consuming too many units of alcohol per week, you're not giving your body enough time to be able to metabolize and digest the ethanol inside the alcohol, and that's going to make you feel run down. The second thing is the type of food that you choose. So if you're going to choose something which is quick and easy, then it's not going to have a good effect on you because it's highly refined sugars and highly refined wheats. It's got processed oils in it, such as vegetable oil, which are really bad for you. And again, it's going to start to affect your gut microbiome, which is going to make you feel miserable. It's going to make you feel really low and really depressed. The third thing that I would suggest is get into a habit of activity. If you're someone who's more stagnant, you need to address those first 2, the alcohol and the junk food. But behind that, you need to address the activity. Why? Because the activity is the cherry on top. Once you start to address your diet and you address the intake of alcohol, then activity is that nice finish to a body feeling better, feeling more stimulated to do more, feeling more driven. And you're getting those rewards such as the serotonin and dopamine, as you should do naturally, because you're going out and achieving and striving to achieve and do better each time. And that's a much, much, much healthier way to be able to lose weight rather than taking the drug Mounjaro. The drug Mounjaro, if you look at it and you say, well, I'm going to take the drug and I'm going to lose weight, but I'm going to continue to eat shit and I'm going to continue to drink alcohol and I'm going to continue to live a really bad and unhealthy lifestyle. Well, eventually that drug isn't going to be able to keep up with your lifestyle habits, and you'll start to see the weight go back up again because those hormones, you'll be taking more and more and more of the drug Mounjaro, which stimulates the hormones to help you lose weight. And so you're going to have to start taking bigger doses. Basically, you're going to have to start taking bigger doses of that Mounjaro. So those 3 things: address your alcohol, address your junk food, and address your activity levels. Anyway, I hope you found that video helpful. Be fit, be healthy, and of course, be a boss bear.